Page 6, Spring Flowers. On page 5, they're introducing you to the phrase. I've already introduced you to phrase ages ago. We've talked about it and talked about it. Musical sentences or musical thoughts is part of interpreting the piece. It's where you lift up slightly between the phrases, like taking a breath. Like when you talk in sentences, sometimes there's a pause between the sentences or whatever, and music's the same way. And the symbol, sometimes they'll mark the phrase for you, and that's that long curved line. And this is one of the problems we have with the curved line, is it's used for like 4 or 5 different things. And you have to figure out which thing it's being used for. If you look on page 5 at the top, at the first musical line there, the line above the top staff that goes over the whole line, that's the phrase mark. It's telling you that is a phrase. It's not telling you necessarily to connect the notes. That's something else. It's simply telling you that all of that is one phrase. It's helping you interpret the piece by pointing out the phrase to you. Some music does, some music doesn't. But if you look at the bottom staff on those whole notes, those curved lines on those notes, those are ties. See, it's the same curved line, but it means a completely different thing. So don't get too confused on these curved lines. You have to decide which thing is this curved line for. In the second line there on page 5, there's 2 phrases there. Each one is 2 measures long. And then on the bottom one, the phrase is on the bottom staff. Doesn't matter. Let's talk about what we're doing with these flowers on page 6. I'm going to go through my system. And when I get to the phrasing and all that, that's part of the articulation and the interpretation, both. So look it over, it's 2 lines long, treble and bass clef, no sharps or flats in the key signature. We're in the key is C major, 4/4 time signature, and I see 1/8 notes, quarter notes, whole notes. Is that about it? Half note, there is a half note, and we got some fermatas or holds in there. We'll talk about those. So we'll take it one hand at a time because both hands are busy. Right hand, you're starting 3rd finger here. And that's the only finger number you need in the first measure. You don't need those others because you're in this position. You're just going to use whichever fingers are on those notes. Play the notes, don't read the finger numbers. As 1 and 2 and. In the first measure, they want you to start here. Here's, and then they want you to cross over here. You just relax and cross over. We have to do this sometimes, no big deal, I hope. However, in the next measure, they want 3rd finger here. Well, it doesn't reach. You have to lift up and move. When I first learn a piece of music, as part of the fingering, I try and find a fingering that lets me connect all the notes if I can. Can't always, but some. And that helps me find a fingering I can rely on. I don't want to go from 2 to 3. I can't connect those. So I'm going to adjust the fingering a little bit so I can. In the first measure here, instead of 2 here, I'm going to come down and use 3 again. Here. Because I can reach this okay. And this way I can just do 3, 2, 1. I got thumb on that. Now I can reach up and the 3rd finger's on F. I can reach that. I can connect it. So I'm going to suggest you do that. So again, in the first measure, the fingering, 3, 7, and then reach up. See, now we're in this position here. Then in the second line, we're back down here. Here again. So you're ending the first line here. Second line is here. Well, they're repeated E's. Remember, we can change hand positions on repeated notes. So this is no big deal. We're just going to go here. I'm changing hand positions. And now I can stay here. Reach up a little bit with A. You're not changing hand positions. The little finger's just coming up. Because in the next one, I still want 3rd finger. So we are crawling around a little bit here. Left hand. C and a G, we're in this position to start, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I have an F and a G, and then in the next one, they want you to come up here. Well, I would prefer not to. you can. There's nothing wrong with it. But I have 2 repeated notes there. I can change there. I can go from 2-1 to 3-2. Now I'm in position for the 3rd measure. And this business of doing this kind of thing will help you later on. So I'm kind of pushing you with the fingering here. So in the 2nd measure, it's a 2-1 and then a 3-2. I changed hand positions. Now I can just reach up with the thumb. And then the last measure of that line, I have a rest to come back down. I got time. And the 2nd line, I start there in the 2nd measure. All I'm doing, I'm staying here. I'm just raising the thumb up here. Here. And then thumb comes back down. So put the hands together here. And again, when I first put the hands together, I'm hesitating all over. I don't care. I just want to know which fingers in the hands are going down together. And it's here, these. And then here, 1. So I've changed here. And then going up, I got to get off the B a little early because the left hand needs that note. So go through and put the hands together and then go back through it however long it takes and get rid of any hesitations so it's a steady beat throughout. You can keep it slow, but no hesitations. Then once I have that, I'll add in the articulation. Here, they don't really give you any articulation. They give you some holds in 2nd line, 2nd measure here. And again, you're wondering, well, where do I hold? Because in the right hand, that's you're just going to hold that out however long. In the left hand, the hold doesn't come until beat 3. 1, 2, 3. There. So what happens is the left hand's controlling this. The right hand's just going to hold however long it has to stay up. So it's here, here, and then both hands are going together. So the left hand controls it. You just hold that out as long as it feels right. If I play it with a metronome, I'll double it and hold it 4 counts instead of 2. So it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, hold, and then you can go on. Okay. The phrasing, since they're giving it to you, you can do it now, or you can wait and add it in on the interpretation, because you don't always connect the notes in a phrase. That's the kicker. Even though that line is there, you don't necessarily connect the notes in a phrase. But for now, we're going to. So if you want to go ahead and put in the phrasing now, lift up, lift up. You're just lifting up a little between each phrase. That's all. Then the dynamics, MP or mezzo piano, and that applies to the melody, which here is the right hand. Whatever you think sort of soft is. The left hand needs to be in the background. Then 3rd measure, you go up to moderately loud, mezzo forte, just go. And then the 2nd line, 1st measure, you have the hairpin to get louder. Now we're going to go up to loud. So moderately loud, little loud, loud right there. It's like that's the climax of the piece. The left hand stays in the background. So you can play this a little louder, but keep it under the A. Hold off, and then P for piano. All of a sudden you're just soft in the right hand and very soft in the left. So RIT is retardando there at the end. It means slow down. Yeah. How much you slow down, it's up to you. You feel it. And then the tempo, or the speed, moderato at the beginning above the stab. Remember, somewhere in the middle. It's not fast or slow. It's somewhere in the middle. Fast might be, and slow might be. So it's got to be somewhere between those. You'll have to decide where that is. Now once you have the dynamics in, then we can think about the interpretation. Well, again, we start with the natural accents. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I exaggerate them so you can hear them better, and if you need to, you exaggerate them so you can feel them. But eventually, you just want to feel them. You don't force a natural accent. It has to happen naturally. It's just there. Now we've already added the phrasing, so we got that in. Please don't copy me. You get in and start feeling the music yourself. Get into it. You got to get past the notes and all the mechanical stuff where you can actually start getting into the music. Let's play it together very slowly and double check all the notes and rhythms. I'm not going to do any dynamics. I'm going to do both hands about the same because we're not performing it. We're just checking notes and rhythms. The fermata on the second line, second measure, in the left hand, I'm going to hold that half note 4 counts instead of 2 and then go on so I can stay with the metronome. And I can't slow down at the end because the metronome won't slow down. So I'll give us 4 counts. 1, 2, ready and go, and 1.